Alright, so one round of the NBA playoffs is already finished. Well, theoretically. There are a couple rounds that aren't done yet, but we know who's going to win. Like the Warriors are going to beat the Nuggets, certain things like that. But in the grand scheme of things, the rounds that have already ended have already shown us the contenders in each conference. I'm not going to go over the contenders in each conference because there's only one in the West and three in the East. But yeah, today I will tell you the top 4 playoff teams this year, based off their production in the first round and based off what I think they can do in future rounds. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so the number 4 team on my list as the 4th best team in the playoffs this year is the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat does not have the sheer talent to beat teams, but they have the coaching, the defense, and the unreliability. That sounds crazy. You don't want to be unreliable as a team, but if a Miami Heat player does go off in a series, they could potentially win that series. So although their offense is unreliable, their coaching and defense is so elite to where I think that they can make it happen. Now look, their chances of making the finals this year to me is like a 20% chance. Their chance to make the conference finals this year even, I say it's like a 50-60% chance because they're in a weak side of the bracket. However, the Miami Heat are only here because of their coaching and because of their offensive outbursts they can have. There's going to be a Strus game. We know there's going to be a Hero game. There's going to be a Duncan Robinson game. The big question is just if that can hold it out long enough for them to win 4 games in a series against a very competitive playoff team. We'll have to see. As a Miami Heat fan, I very much want them to be a contender this year, but they've been very shaky at times. We will see what happens. At number 3, in the best teams in the playoffs list, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, the reigning champions are all the way at number 3. I'm sorry, it's the truth. They don't have the best mix of health. They don't have the best mix of talent. They don't have the best coaching in all of these. They have the worst coaching out of the top 4 teams that I'm naming right now. They have so many things and so many areas of improvement. However, Giannis Antetokounmpo is just good enough. I think he's good enough to take him to the conference finals and beat Boston and even take him to the finals. Now, if they were to match up in the finals against like the Golden State Warriors, I think that they would get swept off the floor because they don't have Chris Middleton. But that is besides the fact. Giannis Antetokounmpo's talent alone can get them far, and that's why I have them above the Heat. Their defense this year was league average. Not one of the best in the league like the Heat. Giannis is so good to where he can backpack this team to a conference finals appearance. And I have no doubt in my mind that he can do that. So, to me, although the Bucks are maybe not as talented as the Heat right now, they just have the better player. The Bucks are the 3rd best team in the playoffs. Alright, now let's go to number 2. Number 2 is easily the Boston Celtics. Now, to sweep a 2-time Finals MVP and one of the best scorers of all time in Kevin Durant and also his counterpart in Kyrie Irving is difficult in itself. But why they're not number 1 to me is because of their unreliability in the playoffs. I just think that their talent is high-end and great, and they just got Robert Williams back, which is a great add for their team and something that was actually very important to their title run this year if they were to go that far. However, their experience in the playoffs is not like some of the teams above them. There's only one team above them, that's the Warriors. We know that they do not have the experience like the Warriors. Their coaching is really good, but are we sure Ime Udoka is as good as Steve Kerr right now? I don't know. That would be up for the playoffs to decide. If Ime Udoka can take this team so far, I'll say he's better than Steve Kerr. But until that point, I can't prove that. So, the Boston Celtics are easily the best team in their conference. They're better than the Bucks. They're more talented right now. They have the better depth, and they're not as injured as the Bucks right now. It makes sense why they are better than the Bucks. And it also makes sense why they're better than the Heat. They're more talented, they have similar coaching, and they also have the better defense. We know why the Celtics are the best team in their conference. But why are they not the outright contender? Because Golden State exists. At number 1, I have the Golden State Warriors. To not be confused with any other team. They're just so clearly the best team in the league this year. Look, the Suns, if they close out that series in 6 games against the Pelicans, that's still a big blow to their team. Devin Booker's not going to come back 100%. And neither do I even expect them to beat the Warriors at full strength. So if you have like an 80% Devin Booker, a Chris Paul who has choked at times in these playoffs, I don't expect you to beat Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins. I'm sorry. I don't expect it to happen. So, why are the Warriors number 1? I mean, they have the most talent in the playoffs right now. They have the best depth in the playoffs right now. They don't have any injuries right now. Nobody's injured on their team besides James Wiseman, and they've played the whole season without him. So that doesn't matter. Also, they have the most championship experience. Championship equity is something that is vital to organizations and their ability to produce championships. And normally, the teams that were champions in the past have a better chance of being champions again, because they just know the way that the playoffs go, know how to prepare themselves mentally, physically, and how to play the game at the right time and make the right plays. This is the whole thing. That's why the Warriors are number one to me. Stephen Curry is willing to come off the bench and sacrifice his role, and sacrifice anything at all. If you can sacrifice and be selfless and also have a deep, talented team, you're the champion. And I think the Warriors are going to win the championship this year. No doubt in my mind that they will. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and watch my previous video on what's next for the Denver Nuggets. Peace out.
Hey, come on, I got a bag on me. You try to take it, leave you stinking like your last homie. She kinda cakey, little baby, put that ass on me. But I ain't that horny, do you got some cash for me? Why every time you ask him that, bitches act funny. And you keep trying to hold the strap, you won't slap for me. You too happy, I can tell you never had money. Every time you get on live, gotta flash money.